this exhibition, I've focused in on significant people, predominantly women, in my life, and family times that are important to me. It's been a time to sit and reflect on some things that have happened over my lifetime. My name's Kerry Toomey. I'm a Gamilaroi woman from Gamilaroi country, and I am a visitor and live on Dharawal land in Bundeena. The title of my work, Threads of the Detachables. The Detachables are a collection of detachable collars that I have made. I was cleaning out my cupboard. I had this cardigan which had a detachable collar on it. When I undid it and threw it over to the side, it looked like a big furry boomerang. And I thought, that is where I'm going next. I don't know how. And it was so cool. I thought, boomerangs bouncing back, stories in my life. So the whole lot of the detachable collars are attached to family and friends of my 60 plus years. It felt good all the way through making all of the collars and using different materials. It was like a trip down memory lane. The threads of my family are the essence of what make you who you are, and I love that. Kangaroo fur straight away makes me think of the fact that on the mission, Aboriginal culture and how our stories were, no, you can't speak your language, no, you can't, no, you can't, no, you can't. And I thought, yes, I can buy that kangaroo fur, and yes, I can make a collar, and yes, I can put it into this show, and it means something to us. It's like taking a step forward, reclaiming our history and our culture. My aunt was a quilter, and she used to knit when I was a kid, and I thought she was one of the most clever people. She would have all the different coloured wools going off, and she would create these unbelievably complicated jumpers. I could knit a square, right? It was like slow motion next to her. After she passed away, out of the quilting remnants, I chose every piece that had a flower, because she was mad for gardening, loved knitting and loved quilting. So that was about her, but it's not just her, it's the time that I lived with them in their house. One of the collars has got a whole lot of buttons all over it. I had people go through their collections of buttons to help me out. Just one button can trigger a memory of something that they've worn or a time. And when I put it on, I feel like it's like a little collar of armour. And it represents all the women and all the family members. And it feels good, I love going to op shops and I grab lace and I feel okay about pulling things apart. It's colonial Australia, that's what it represents. It has impacted on our family's history. There's one tablecloth. It once was pride and place in that family who owned it, and now it's been knotted up and turned into a piece of artwork that represents the cutting out or leaving Aboriginal people away from the dining table. They were the servants. I mean, my grandmother was one of the domestic workers, and she was in the stolen wages people. And now this tablecloth that belonged to a non-Aboriginal family has been turned into a work of art, knotted up, and now it's telling our stories. And even though my friend that gave it to me wasn't one of the people who did something wrong in the past, she can see that she is now a part of our story, And one of my cousins happily put it on and modelled it for me. In the exhibition, I've got the collars all spread out in the middle, and then it's almost like this small collection of photos. So some are portraits of family and friends wearing some of the collars. And then I go to creating collars onto the people who are in my thoughts. I've added emu feathers, some of the paper I embossed, and then come back in with stitching. And the stitching reminds me of sitting with my aunties back in the day. Before television, it was a bit of, time filling in the evening, and then you got the stories. I hope when people come in and see my artwork, they'll enjoy the fact it's about a collection of people who are special to me. They will see that we have a history that goes back a long way. I hope that when they see the photo of my niece, very pregnant, with a wire collar draped around her, wire fences in the past locked us out. Now that collar and that piece of wire sculpture is wrapped around my very pregnant niece, who's now had the baby, and her baby. We are all responsible for however and whatever happens in the future. We are going to make a difference for the histories of his lifetime are going to be different. We are in the middle of conversations about how this country is going to move forward. So I hope just that one photo makes people think about what is going to happen to that baby.